Welcome to the True Love Secrets Revealed series. Today we have with us the most beautiful Darcy Iverson. She's a love and relationship coach, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about feminine energy. What is it, what is not, and how embracing it and understanding it can help you to attract long lasting love. Welcome, Darcy.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I'm so excited to talk about a subject that people love talking about so much.
I know. It's such a favorite subject. And there is a lot of confusion about it as well. Some women believe that it's being in our feminine energy means being weak. Some people, there are a lot of different things about it. So why do you think it is important for a woman to understand what feminine energy is and it isn't in order to attract long lasting love?
Oh, you just jumped right in there, huh?
Yes.
So, probably one of the most important reasons why I think it is for women to understand feminine energy is because it's it's how we want to be loved, right? Like I think that women deeply want to be pursued by masculine men, and I think they want to be chosen by masculine men, and they want to be in a relationship with a man who wants to give to them, prioritize them, provide for them, take care of them. And really, one of the most important ways to attract a man like that and to have polarity with a man like that for life is to be in your feminine energy. And so I think that the women who are able to attract men like that and able to have sustainability in a partnership like that are women who've really mastered the art of being in their feminine energy. And I think that's critical. I think it's critical to know what it is. I think it's critical to know how to get into it. I think it's critical to know when to be in your masculine, when to be in your feminine. And I don't think there's any feeling on the planet Earth that's better than being loved deeply and being chosen deeply by a masculine man. I don't know a better feeling than having an incredible masculine man who wants to care for you and cherish you and adore you. I mean, I honestly don't. And honestly, before I had that, I mean, yes, there were things that felt really good to me, like creating hobbies and friendships and self-love and all that, but then attracting an amazing man who wants to give to me and prioritize me and adore me, like it's one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever had in my entire life, right? It's the best.
Right. Yes, I love the relationship you have with your partner. I love it. It's beautiful. And I see you and I hear you so happy. This is not the first time we talk with Darcy, so she has shown how happy she is with him. You were going on a date the other day when we were talking. How was it? Was it good?
Yes, yes. We still like prioritize dates and we still prioritize connection and love and being together and I honestly I don't even have to ask for those things. Like I don't have to ask for him to cook for me or take me out or make me feel special. But there are so many things that I show up around and I give to him. And I truly feel like we have like um, a really beautiful dynamic in our relationship that we've sort of perfected over time. And I think that's a huge part of why he shows up so beautifully for me. And I think that so many women are deeply desiring having a man like that, right? They are, you know, wanting a man who makes them feel chosen and adored on a daily basis. And I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, I know we're talking about feminine energy today, but I feel like there's so many pieces ultimately that go into that, like, you know, being able to master the mindset of a woman who believes that she is chosen and adored. I feel like there's the like manifesting piece of really being able to live in the end and really believing that you have like wife energy and like that you are the woman who does get, you know, cherished and chosen. And then I believe there's like the feminine energy piece, which is radiance and magnetism, right? And a softness that your partner he can't get from any other woman, right? So I feel like there's kind of like this trifecta that when it comes together, it's so yummy and like just it's just perfect. It's amazing.
That's beautiful. I love it. I'm gonna take notes that. So the trifecta is like the recipe for long-lasting love with a masculine energy man. I will repeat. The first one is I can remember. The second one is manifesting, being able to be in the mindset like
Yeah, so I feel like the first piece, right, is like the self-concept work of having the
okay,
mindset of knowing, hey, I am the kind of woman who
okay,
does get chosen, right? So I am the kind of woman who does get adored. I am the kind of woman who is like has wife energy, right? Like I am that kind of woman who gets given to on a daily basis. Like men want to pick me out, right? Because so many women when they're like on the road to like meeting their man, when they've been let down so many times by men, like they get into this mindset of like, I never get chosen, right? Like I do so much work with my clients around this because the women who are attracted to my work are always like, I never get picked, I never get chosen. Like men pick other women over me, men are unfaithful with me, like men don't treat me well. Like, so women first need to do that like self-concept piece of how do I clear the past? How do I really heal all those old stories to really dial in to this self-concept piece of I am chosen. I am the kind of woman who magnetizes a man who feels like I am so radiant and I am so soft and I am so unique that he wants me off the market, right? So that's the first piece. And then the second piece is really connecting to that manifesting piece of like living in the end. So, how do you connect your energy to already being complete around this? Like believing that you're already in that relationship. Like
right.
what's your persona like around that? Like what would your life be like if you already had this experience, right? Not necessarily like, okay, wear a wedding ring and pretend you're married, but what would your life really be like if you truly believed that you were the kind of woman that men were going crazy desiring to commit to? Like how would your life look different? It would look very different than the energy and experience that you're having if you're sitting on the couch obsessing over a guy and why he's not choosing you, right? The energy is so different. Okay, if you envision men don't commit to me, I'm always alone, I never get the guy I want, I never get picked. That energy, if you feel into that, it feels it's like a very low vibe. It does not feel good.
I know.
The other one, I've got wife energy. Men want to commit to me. I am deeply radiant and magnetic. Men cannot stay away from me. I'm the woman that walks into a room and changes the entire energy. People cannot stay away from me. Like if you like feel into that, it feels very different, right? So it's like, how do we help you connect to that space, right? So getting into living in the end, right? So you got the manifesting piece. So once you've sort of cleared the past and then you're sort of getting into what the future would feel like, then you can start to go into your heart space and the softness and being more in your body and being in this energy of it's safe to let men in. It's safe to be playful. It's safe to be in the present moment. It's safe to enjoy your current experience with men today, right? And being more in the feminine energy place, right?
Love it. Love it. Thank you for repeating.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. I had gotten the second two. The first one, apparently, I was in my own head. So
Yeah.
that's fabulous. I love it. I love it. It's so concise, but you are touching on the three main points.
Yeah,
And
because you and I've talked about this before about how when people talk about feminine energy, right? They talk a lot about like, oh, like prioritize pleasure, eat yummy foods, wear pretty dresses, and like none of those things are bad. Those things are great, right? But if you haven't done the really like strong work that needs to be done first of
right.
like I don't trust men. Like, I don't feel safe with men. Like, my dad really never showed up for me. Like, I was sexually abused when I was a kid. And, like, I genuinely, I can't have orgasms with men. Like, if
Mm,
you're not dealing with like the stuff that's really down deep in your energy with men, you're not going to want to be in the present moment with a man on a date, right? Because subconsciously, our programming controls a lot of our results with men. And if I've got a belief down here in the back that's like, actually, men really aren't that safe. I don't really genuinely trust men. If we're not clearing that out and really dealing with what's really going on, there's no way that I'm going to want to be playful with a man. There's no way that I'm going to want a man to lead me because the way that men have led me in the past was not to a safe place. If you were married, for example, for 30 years to a narcissist and
mm,
he only led you to bad places and you
yeah,
haven't fully healed that, going on dates with a new man who's a good man, it's going to be really hard for you to lean in and let him lead you because you've got a really big part of you that knows that a man led you to really bad places before.
right.
So we've got to really do a lot of that heavy work, that deeper, darker work that doesn't feel good. And once that's cleared out, we actually get pretty magnetic and radiant because we know we have our own back and we know we can really trust ourselves. And
Right.
we learn, hey, I might have been married to this guy for 30 years, but I'm okay. Like I might have been, in a relationship with this guy for 10 years who cheated on me. It wasn't the greatest guy, but I survived it. I took care of myself and I'm okay, which means I can trust me, which means I can trust this guy, right? Because even if it doesn't go that great or it's not the best experience or whatever, I'm going to be okay. And that's a really big shift and it's a really big deal. So it's important. Yeah.
Absolutely, Darcy. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That's beautiful and so well articulated and explained. At the end of the day, I love what you said. We get to learn how to trust ourselves.
Yeah.
That's it. If we get that, the whole world becomes a safe place.
Yes.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's like the difference between wearing shoes on top of lava rocks that can cut our feet, or trying to cover the whole field of lava rocks with leather. So when we try to change the men and or escape from men in any way, avoid them or get anxiously attached to them, or it's like putting leather over the whole thing. But if we wear shoes, we can walk anywhere and we can make the right decisions. We can create safety for ourselves. I
Right.
relate so much to that. I had to learn how to do that.
Right.
And it was liberating.
Well, yeah, and I think there's validity to this fear of abandonment and anxious attachment, because everybody told me the first time like a good safe man showed up, like, love feels easy, love feels good. Well, when I first met the like good safe guy, my I wasn't like, "Oh, this is so easy. This is so good." Like, all I knew at that time was men that were not really good, trustworthy men. So when I met my first good, safe partner, I still questioned it. Not because he did anything wrong. He was amazing. He was so consistent, so reliable, so trustworthy. But I had never known that. Never. I had never known a man who had good intentions with me. And
Mm,
so I still got anxious. I still got scared. I still had questions. The difference was, when I went to him with my questions, he was honest and he was reliable and he was safe. When I would have questions for him, like, why do you do this thing or whatever, he would tell me, hey, I know that you have trust issues and I love you and I am not going to break your trust. So if you have questions, you can ask whatever you want, but I am not going to break your trust. I'm not going to hurt you.
oh,
And I kind of pushed a bit for a while, and then I relaxed over time because he was consistent and he was trustworthy. And I learned that. I learned I could rely on him. But it was not just easy in the beginning, because my programming was men are not safe, right? So I see a lot of women who meet good men and they're like, no, 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 he's not good, you know? And I'm like, hey, give it a beat, right? Like, give it a minute, like, allow consistency to be creative, right? Like, I have a client right now who just attracted his first good woman. And she's a good woman and she's good for him, but he gets scared because he's never been happy and
oh,
they are really happy. And he gets really scared. And I'm like, it's okay to be scared. It is okay. But when you've never been happy and you're finally happy, it can be a little scary, right? Like
yes.
it can
Mhm.
be scary. So for a lot of us, right, especially like fearful avoidance, when we're really happy, we can want to sabotage. So,
Right,
if that's you, don't sabotage. Just let yourself enjoy being happy, right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I know you do this probably. I don't know in depth your work, but I imagine you do help your clients also with regulating their nervous system.
Yes,
Because
I do.
telling somebody be happy, giving the friendly advice, it's just it doesn't really work because when somebody's nervous system is totally dysregulated, it may work in a sterile environment like it's our coaching session, but then when they are out there in real life and they get triggered, oh my God, I know how it works. So do you mind sharing some of the ways that you help them to, for example, this guy that gets is getting a little bit or a lot scared with this wonderful woman sitting next to you. Thanks to
So
you. Um,
So usually like nervous system regulation is like the one of the first pieces of my work because yes, you are correct. When people have like attachment style issues, when people have like any sort of, if they have anxious attachment, disorganized attachment issues, any sort of like infidelity in their past, they've been involved with anybody with a personality disorder, anything like that, before you can really dive into like feminine energy work, like you do want to get really regulated. So I do a lot of different things to help people get regulated. Like I have different forms of like breath work, different forms of tapping, different forms of like DBT, CBT that I do. I also do different forms of like music and different forms of like music frequencies to help them get regulated. I do a lot of work regulating the amygdala, the part of the brain that gets super activated and signals to your brain and body that there's a threat. That's why people with anxious attachment style experience so much anxiety because their brain is constantly saying, every time their partner pulls away or gets some space, hey, there's a threat, like we're in trouble. So I do a lot of work helping people like calm their amygdala. And, this is part of why, by the way, it's really challenging for women who have an anxious attachment style to date men because men naturally, after connection, need a little bit of space, right? Not a lot of space unless they're avoidant, but they need a little bit of space. And so when a woman has an anxious attachment style, that space is really activating to her. So I do a lot of work to help people earn secure, which means that I help them navigate resolving their insecure attachment style so that they earn secure around love and around money, actually. And so they're in a really safe space. So when their partner pulls away, their amygdala does not get activated. Their nervous system is very settled and very safe. And they're able to see, oh, that's my partner pulling away, regulating through space. And that's okay. And I'm okay. And I'm going to go, do whatever it is. And that guy that I'm working with, he's doing awesome. He has like earned secure in a very short period of time through doing some of that work. He's great. He's so committed and so like he works really, really, really hard. So yeah, I do a lot of that nervous system work. And once a woman gets her nervous system really calmed down and earns secure, feminine energy works like that. Like she can lean into that work so easily. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that because it's a very important part of the whole puzzle, I think. We have to be in a good space, otherwise emotionally, stable or balanced. Otherwise,
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And that's why, manifesting can be really hard for women and men who are insecurely attached as well,
hmm,
because it's really hard to like focus on what you want and live in the in and practice inner conversations and, do revision. And it's really hard to do all those skills when your body is like in fight or flight, right? That your body is like, hey, there's something wrong, like we gotta run. Like it's
or
hard to like,
when the next, how you say that, when the next shoe is gonna drop, tell
yes.
tells my
Hmm.
I can't be
Yeah.
happy because the moment I'm happy, boom, something happens.
Yes.
And it's very
Yes.
hard. Life is very hard. We are
Yes.
talking about very, very painful things here that we go through as humans. So thank you for doing the work you do and helping.
Thank you for doing the work you do and helping.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. Did you used to be a little bit dysregulated, or you, yes, you said before you shared that. So you did the work yourself and
Yes. So I had an experience being in a relationship with somebody who was not very healthy and did not accept my boundaries to not reach out to me. And I got very dysregulated by that, um, and had to do a lot of work to get regulated, um, because the constant contact over years was very dysregulating for me. And, you know, I my love journey was very hard. I was involved with addicts, alcoholics, lots of cheaters, men who were very unstable and very unsuitable for me personally.
mm,
But I was very drawn to those guys because I was very addicted to intensity. I
mm,
had a very hard time with stability. I felt like stability was very boring.
okay.
So I was always drawn to men who were very exciting. The
Mm,
problem was, like, the excitement they needed, it wasn't a stable relationship. Like, they needed more excitement than me. And so I inevitably always got hurt.
mm,
And I
oh,
finally hit rock bottom where I did not want intensity or excitement anymore. I wanted someone who wanted to create an exciting life together, but did not want to create all that intensity and instability because
oh,
it did not feel safe or nourishing to my nervous system at all.
right. Well, I'm so, so happy that you broke the pattern. It's not that easy, but at the same time, it is kind of easy. Once I believe, would you agree with me? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But that what is the most difficult is actually to come up to terms that we are going to do something about it. And then, sometimes I hear from women that want to hire me. It's like, oh, it sounds so difficult, and actually the most difficult part is the part before the hiring. I feel like it's all the things they go through before, and all the self doubt. Is it gonna work for me? Is she gonna be able to help me? I nobody can help me, whatever. But once they make the decision, everything changes. Would you agree with me a little bit on that or not really?
I think making the decision to change your life and making that decision so clear to the universe, like, hey, I am changing my life. This is my commitment.
Um,
I think sends ripples out into the universe like nothing else does. I think a woman who is firm in her decision to change things forever sends such a significant, powerful message out that, in my first year of business, I would get women who would hire me and they would like sign up to work with me and then they would meet their partner and we barely met. And I couldn't take credit for it because I was like, we just met and they would meet their partner. And I learned that when a woman is intentional and clear and is like, I'm done, I'm going to change my life, everything would change for them. And I just think there's something really powerful about a woman who is like, I'm ready to change
I'm
my entire life. I don't know. It's a
so
decisiveness that,
powerful.
hmm yeah.
We are so, so, so powerful. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you so much. You are brilliant. You're just adorable. I enjoy so much your company and your wisdom. I love the way you talk. It's so clear and beautiful. I feel inspired by you. I know you have a gift because we have promised our audience that. So would you mind to share it with them what the gift is about?
I would love to do that. I have a free gift. It's a masterclass on how to tap into your feminine energy, and it's a good one. It's long and it's got so many tips, so many techniques on how to really tap into your feminine energy in really powerful ways that will change your life forever. And it is absolutely free for your audience because I
Thank
think
you.
this is so amazing what you're doing. So I'm so excited to give that to everyone. And this was so much fun. I love doing this with you. It was really incredible.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to see you again soon.